Hi guys, it's the Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to things that you can't do in America but are okay in England. And this is from an American living in England. The link for this will be in the description below. Please go over and show her some love. Tell her your Island Girl sent you, and the name of the channel is the Hickson Diaries. I hope I did not Hickson's Diary. I hope I did not pronounce that incorrectly. If I did, I'm sorry. All right, so if you're new to my channel, it's the first time here, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face, hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe. If you're new here, we welcome you here. To all my regular schmegulas, day one, sweetie pies, sweetie poos, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face and enjoy this reaction with your Island Girl. All right, let's find out things that you can't do in America, but you can do them in England. Here we go, right about now.
Hey y'all, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about things you can't do in the US that are perfectly fine to do here in England.
Okay.
Now, just for clarification, for those of you who don't know, daywalking is actually not crossing the street at the designated corners or designated crosswalks. So if you're in the middle of the block and you want to just cross over, even if the traffic's clear and it's perfectly safe, it's technically illegal in many places for you to make that cross. You have to go to the corner and use the crosswalk or cross at the corner. I've actually known people who've gotten ticketed for this in America.
Yep.
So ridiculous. It's such a dumb law, in my opinion. Here in England, they don't have anything like that. Obviously, if you're in a crowded city like London, you should probably use the crosswalks if you can, just because there's a lot of traffic. There's lots of lanes and different lanes going at different times and things like that. And especially if you're a tourist, you're not familiar with the traffic patterns, it's a really good idea for you to stay in those lanes. But if you are, a Londoner, or you're familiar with the area that you're in and you know it's okay and you know it's safe, it should be fine that you just cross when you know it's safe and you feel comfortable. So that's one thing that I think England definitely does better.
Baby, I'm familiar with that one. It's the same thing in Jamaica as well. You're not supposed to cross anywhere on the road unless you're using the crosswalk. Well, in the countryside, you don't necessarily have no crosswalks. I don't understand why would you have a law like that when in certain places it don't make no sense, because there's no actual crosswalk for you to walk. You just go across the road whenever time you need. So yeah, the American, that one to me don't make it is ridiculous. If you're able to look and see that you're safe to cross a road, I don't see why you if it happens the police come to be charged for jaywalking. That to me ridiculous. But yet still we're in the land of the free according to many. Let's continue. Next.
This is kind of subjective because in America, it's just that you don't really get a lot of holiday.
True.
But even when you do get, 2 weeks or even more, for some people who have been at places for a long time, it's really, really frowned upon to take more than 1 week at a time.
Yep.
I remember when one time when I was actually coming back to England, I wanted to take 2 weeks, and it was a huge, huge deal. I had to make sure I had plenty of cover. I had to make sure I had all my projects left up, almost as if I was being punished for taking more than 1 week at a time. You are very much work first, life second in America. That's just how the work culture is.
That's true.
It's very frowned upon to even take time off and not check in or check your emails or things like that, especially if you're going to be gone for a long holiday. Here, they force people to take holidays. They're taking 2 weeks because you're going overseas, or just because you want to take 2 weeks because you have it. It's perfectly normal. It's perfectly valid, and it's perfectly accepted here in England. And yeah, that's a big, big plus. I love it.
I'm on board with England 100% with this. And I realize it's not just England. I notice it's a lot of European countries, or even in other third world countries. I'm like, they don't play when it comes on to giving holidays to their workers. Because I'm like, here in America, like she said, it's work, 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 and then life comes after. And the messed up part about it, like she said, look, you have to be working at an establishment for years for that company in order to get more than to get at least 2 weeks or more, because it depends on the years of seniority how you get vacation. And then not only that, you can't just get up and say I want to take a vacation because I have 2 weeks off, or I can get week off. You will have to say, okay, persons who have been in that company longer than you have priority time, like they get first pick on which time of the year they want to take their holiday or vacation time. And I'm like, this is madness. It's ridiculous. And it is sad that here in America, when you want to take vacation time, you have to fight with these employers to get your time, and you feel it's like a guilt trip. Then you're guilty because you're taking time off for yourself that you have earned, and you have to find a replacement to cover your end of the work. They don't find somebody in the company. You have, guys, I can go on and on with this. It is ridiculous, it is sad, and it is madness, and it is, yeah, it's downright wrong. And they haven't changed. And I give my hats to England for this. I give my hats to different European countries for this, and third world countries who treat their workers well. You understand? Because in England, I understand that you're pushed to take vacation time. If you're sick, you're pushed to take it time. Oh, let's continue. Choosing your child's school.
Of course, there's options to go to private school that you would pay for out of your pocket. For this segment, we're just going to talk about the public school comparison. In America, you have to go to that school that's in your district. You don't have any choices. If you want to go to a different school that is going to be a public school, then you have to change where you live. It's all tied to where you live. Here in England, it is somewhat tied to where you live. Like, you live in Kent County, you can't go to school in London, right? You have to go to school in Kent County. However, there's so many secondary and primary schools in Kent County that you can find the school that's right for your child, fits, your dynamics and your lifestyle within those parameters. And you have to actually apply for a spot in that school. So it's not guaranteed necessarily that you can go to that school. If for some reason you're in a position where you've applied a few times and none of the schools have spaces, then it's up to the county to find you a school that you can go to put your child in. But it is something that England does that I think is really, really cool.
Woo, baby. Here we go again with another one. I'm not sure where in the US she was living, but here in Alaska, let's say public school, as you guys call private school, public school. You can, they have within whatever zone, it's called zoning. So whichever zone that your kids, say your kids is going off to middle school, you have to send him to whatever zone that you're in. But then you can go in a lottery in order to get your child from out of your zone into another zone area for your kids. Because like my son Sean, he does not go to the school that it runs within our zone. He goes to a school that is way out our zone because I had to put him in the lottery to get there. But not only that, it's like it's not a first come first basis. He has to have the grades to get out of the zone school to get into the school that you pick for him. So if he's in the gifted program, he'll get in. When they look at his score, they say, okay, he'll get in than persons that were within that zone because that child is smart. They'll do that as well. Just listen to me. The American schooling system, whether it's public school or private school, it's ridiculous. Period, point blank. And I give my hats to the UK, England, European region for how they treat their kids and how they deal with kids on a whole within their schooling system. I give it to them 100%. Here's another one that's a kicker.
Here in England, you don't have to have anything. You just make the appointment and you go. Now, don't get me wrong. If there are problems with the NHS and there are some people that have trouble getting appointments, and there's there are reforms that can be done with the NHS system here. But they do have a hybrid system here, actually, where you can have private insurance, and it kind of works the way it is in America, where you pay for the insurance and then you might get a bill after the fact, depending on the coverage. And that's always an option for you. But if you can't afford that, then you always have the option of the NHS as well. Not having to have money on me all the time when I get sick or when I go to the doctor, or someone in my family goes to the doctor. It's amazing to me how much less stress you are under when you get sick. And it's just something that America does not have. In most cases, you don't have the option of going to just go to the doctor when you get sick. You have to have some kind of credit card with you to pay to get, sometimes you have to pay to even get for the appointment, to even see the doctor before you get any medications or tests or anything like that done. And you usually have a bill after the fact as well.
That's a big one. When it comes on to America and going to the doctor, people are literally afraid to go to the doctor because they know by the time they walk out of the doctor's office, the bill is going to be through the roof. Even if you just go in for a common cold, if you don't have insurance, you're in problem. And even if you have insurance, there's also a copay depending on the kind of insurance that you have. Oh Jesus, I don't understand why America cannot adopt the UK system or England system where, like the NHS, something similar to the NHS. I don't see what the problem is. I'm just baffled as to why wouldn't you not want your citizens to live more comfortable and have one less thing to stress about in your country. It's just mind-boggling. You have to pay to even hold your baby. You have to pay to go to the ambulance that comes to pick you up. You have to pay for that. You have to pay for your medication. You have to have money on hand. And if you have a surgery coming up and you cannot pay for it, that surgery have to be put on hold. And you'll put yourself out of a house, and you put yourself in debt because of just going to the doctor's office to get an X-ray done, thousands of dollars. Guys, life in America is not what people polish it out to be. It is a downhill spiral that is not getting any better. And I give my hats and I respect England, the UK, and these European countries who treat their citizens with, to me, in such high regard. That's one less thing that they have to worry about, healthcare. You understand? And I know, like she said, the NHS does have a problem. Like with any company, they do have their problems. They do have their flaws, but it still works. You know what I mean? It still works. Ooh.
18.
Yeah.
And of course, for me, in case you can't tell, I know it's really difficult, but I'm over 18.
And still got to show an ID.
But I just think it's really, really weird. I've always thought it was really weird that the drinking age in America is 21 when you're considered an adult at 18. You can be tried in a murder trial or anything else when you're 18 years old.
As an adult.
You can buy a gun when you're 18 years old. You can join the armed forces when you're 18 years old and go overseas to fight for your country, yet you can't have a drink.
Yep.
Here in England, in certain cases, you might be able to get away with drinking even younger, especially if you're in like a pub setting where your family has always gone to or something like that, and they're familiar with you. They know who your family are. And if you get into trouble, they can make sure that they get you the help. They might serve you a little bit sooner. But being 18, you're an adult. You should make the choices. So being able to drink at 18 makes complete sense to me.
Yeah, the drinking age here in America is ridiculous. 21. You can go and buy cigars. You can go and get a gun. You can go before you're 21. You can do all these things like she just said before you're 21, but yet still you can't make the choice to drink alcohol. You can get pregnant before you're 21. You can do this before you're 21. You can get a driver's license from age 50. But you cannot drink before you're 21. You tell me. And as old as I am and I walk into an establishment, I have to literally show them my ID if I say I'm going to have a glass of wine. I'm positive I look older than 21. Even as an old man walking with a stick, you have to show them your ID before you touch alcohol. No. Listen, and in England, I saw where in other visits I saw in the UK where kids are in the pub as 5 years old in their home setting, sitting at the table, they get exposed to alcohol. And to me, it makes sense. It lessens the rush or the excitement to go out there and drink alcohol. I really think so. They won't go out there and abuse it if you start them off from an earlier age. I 100% believe it is better that way. And in the pub, they get to sit in the pub and they get to have a drink as well with family. Yeah. Leave your eggs out.
Got totally schooled on this one. Never knew until I came here. Apparently, in America, there's some kind of law with the FDA, which is the Food and Drug Administration that oversees food safety, that you have to wash eggs before you sell them to a consumer.
Yep.
But what this does is it actually washes away a protective coating around the egg that's natural from allow it to be sitting out on the counter and keep it protected from the elements outside. In America, you have to refrigerate it when you buy it, because if you don't, you will get sick because that protective coating has been washed away according to the FDA's regulations. I was always refrigerating my eggs. I couldn't even find the eggs in the store when I first got here. It took me 2 or 3 trips to the store and a conversation with someone who had actually walked me to where the eggs were to even realize that the eggs just weren't in the refrigerated section. And I did refrigerate them for a really long time, and I got yelled at by so many people saying that that's actually really bad for your eggs here. So now I don't have to refrigerate my eggs. I don't know if it makes them taste better or not, but it's definitely more convenient having it right next to the stove when I'm cooking my eggs, considering I eat eggs almost every day. Obviously, if you leave it out for, months and months and months, that's not good for it. But you can leave it out for a decent period of time and still be able to use it. But that's something you can't do in America at all, which is really seems kind of backwards, actually.
Yep.
So there you guys have it. Things that you can't do in the US but are perfectly fine to do here in the UK. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a like and make sure you share it if there's someone else that you think might enjoy it, and consider being a subscriber if you.
So I did. Yep, guys, the final thing she touched on, spot on. When it comes down to eggs, they stay in the refrigerator. And if you don't put them in, they will spoil in 1 or 2 days, and they're spoiled because yes, they are washed here. So the protective layer is gone. The only way you can keep your eggs on the kitchen counter is if you get it from a local farmer who take the eggs right out from where it is laid, package it, and give it to you so that it's not cleaned off. And my next door neighbor let me know that because those are the only kind of eggs she will not buy refrigerated eggs, which because I didn't get it. I didn't realize that is they wash the egg and wash the protective layer, because I always see eggs in fridge. So that's one thing that would definitely throw me off when I get to the UK, to see that there's no eggs in the fridge aisle. I'll definitely have to go look for it on the shelf. You understand? So all the things that she touched on, she is definitely correct. You definitely cannot do those things in America. And I'm positive that it's not only England you can do these things. In the different European regions, that you can do all these things that you can't do in America. I'm telling you, when you stop to think about it, you wonder why are so many people here? Why people don't run from here? You understand what I'm saying? I'm not saying America is all bad. I'm just saying when you stop to watch these videos and look around, you'll be like, life is so much better outside of the US. Boy. It's your island girl, and I'm running out here. Be good, be kind, be safe. Love you guys. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button on this one. Let me know what you'd like me check out next in the comment section. Your girl got you. You guys like my glasses? I'm now a blind bat, so I'm wearing glasses. Woo! I love you guys, and I'll catch you guys in another one. Bye, guys.
Bye.